Hey everyone, thanks for joining today. I'm excited to tell you a bit about how we here at YUP empower every student to learn. A little bit about me. My name is Craig Moshe. I'm a former math teacher, instructional coach, and school leader. I taught the full range of high school math when I was in the classroom, and now that I am the director of academics here at YUP, I've been working with education experts on our teaching methods and learning rubric over the last few years. I know from my own experience that teaching math is an incredibly hard job. Every day, you work to provide the right support for your students while trying to teach a curriculum that meets rigorous standards and sets your students up for a successful future. I also want to acknowledge that right now, a lot is changing and continues to change as a result of COVID-19. It's making teaching math even harder. We know that teachers' time is consumed by moving curriculum online, getting used to Zoom and other platforms, and finding ways to support students emotionally through such difficult times. With all of this, school plans are changing rapidly, making it hard to actually plan effectively and far in advance. For math teachers, remote teaching is even trickier. It's hard to see students work in real time, making it difficult to figure out what is confusing to them and give actionable feedback. The one-on-one time that you used to get in the classroom after school and during extra blocks is now reduced to inefficient email tutoring or office hours where only a few students are actually able to show up. And unfortunately, this means that students can't master the material at the same pace as their typical class. We're reading more and more about the predicted long-term impact of learning loss on students' college readiness and ability to pursue STEM careers. And we know that after talking to a bunch of teachers, we know that you're trying a lot of different solutions, but they're not all working. Virtual office hours, like I said, are inefficient. Teachers can only work with one or two students at a time, and they desperately need that time to do additional grading and planning. Self-guided platforms like Zearn, Khan Academy, IXL Math, they're excellent resources for students. They have tons of content. But the long explanations and videos can be intimidating for students who aren't used to learning that way. Teachers learn about student misconceptions after they've already given up, and they often have to wait hours or days, if ever, to help their students work through their confusion. Now, there's also a number of great providers out there for in-person tutoring for struggling students. But these providers are just figuring out how to adapt for remote learning right alongside teachers. Also, these services can be pretty expensive and sometimes inaccessible because of that. Now, there are other online tutoring options out there, but quality can vary. Some of these so-called marketplaces for tutoring let students pay money in order to get step-by-step instructions for doing their homework. While students might love this because it helps them to finish their homework quickly, it isn't real learning and doesn't require the critical thinking that students need to be successful in the long run. So we know that many of you teachers out there are facing two main issues right now. One, getting students access to support, and then two, ensuring that that support is high quality. This is where YUP comes in. Students get real help right when they need it. Students open the YUP app on their smartphone or web browser, snap a photo of their problem, and answer a few questions to personalize their tutoring. Our tutors can work with any curriculum or whatever a student is learning in school at a given moment. Within minutes, YUP matches them with a tutor. Students have access 24/7, so instead of waiting until a certain day of the week to meet with their tutor after they've already been confused for several days, they get help right at the moment when they need it. Once connected, students and tutors communicate by text message, image sharing, and a digital whiteboard. Our schools and our parents love text messaging for safety purposes. We've never had an incident of unprofessional behavior over the last 6 years with our tutors, and we've worked with everyone, large school districts, small charters, and online schools. And as any parent of a middle school or teenage student knows, those students prefer to communicate via text message. What's also great about it is that every transcript is recorded and students can revisit what they learned at any time within the app. Student onboarding is seamless. Students enter their information on our webpage, get a code in their inbox, and use it to access the app. We had a pilot a few weeks ago where the school got in touch with us on a Friday afternoon. Their students were working with us and our tutors by Monday morning. That's how quick our turnaround can be. And then once students are on board, we make sure that real learning happens in every session. Our tutors actually teach math. Instead of giving away steps and answers, they focus on the habits that are going to make students successful, not just in math, but across other subjects and more broadly in life. Most students who struggle in math do these things. In fact, many teachers and tutors unknowingly enable these habits through poor teaching practices. I know that I did a lot of this in my first few years teaching despite my best intentions. These are the research-backed habits that students need in order to be successful in the long run. They're at the core of everything that we do. We package them into an easy-to-understand, repeatable framework for problem solving for students and teachers. Understand, plan, solve, check, and reflect. We recruit and train our tutors based on their ability to teach these habits. We actually hand grade our sessions on a rubric that measures these habits. And our onboarding specialists even provide turnkey lessons for teachers on how they can coach students on them. So this is the other part of our solution, not just access, but real learning in every session. This starts with our tutors, their teachers, education professionals, and graduate students with impressive experience. We accept less than 5% of applicants, and every tutor is given training and feedback on a weekly basis to ensure that they're teaching for long-term student understanding. We provide all schools with a customized dashboard for managing student learning. This dashboard includes support resources so that teachers, students, and parents can get the most out of YEP, access to full transcripts for every session, powerful tool to investigate and coach student learning, and a student roster to oversee student usage and manage student success. YEP makes a real and immediate difference in students' math confidence. And as schools have shifted to remote teaching, we've been working with them to make sure that students don't fall behind. Just a few weeks ago, we partnered with Collegiate Charter School, High School of Los Angeles to support their Summer Academy students. These students had actually failed math during the school year, and we're working to catch up in time for fall classes. You can check out here a few other quotes from students who felt that YEP increased their confidence. I think my favorite one is from Marcus. He wrapped up his last day of Summer Academy by saying, "YEP helped me pass Summer Academy when I believed that I couldn't pass." Their teachers and administrators also loved YEP because it was easy to implement and they could see the learning happening in real time. And this is just one school. Check out what everyone else is saying about YEP. So if you're interested in providing extra support for your students this fall, click the button below and schedule a time with someone on our team. We look forward to chatting with you about how YEP can empower your students to learn.